Okay, y'all, let's get into it. We wanted to do a new series on our Meetup Monday that's going to be kind of a campfire tale gathering. We feel like there are a lot of stories out there, and one of the things we love about our community is that we really like to share your stories as an app that's completely user generated. We rely on you to share your experience, and some of those experiences are really wild and noteworthy. And I think that our three panelists we brought today all have very incredible adventures. I'm going to start by introducing all of them. I'm going to go with Sam first from at Sam Van Sam. She has an amazing podcast. It's Eat Dessert First. So you got to go follow that. And she is a full-time van lifer. And I'll let you take it from there, Sam.
Hello, hello. Yes, hello. I'm coming in from Portland, Oregon currently. I'm redoing my van interior. Been in it since I built it in 2017. So I've been in it for 3 years now, and it's time for a little facelift. So that's what I'm up to in Portland. I'm trying to, by the grace of God, get my fourth grade niece through online school this year. So just 5 more weeks, not that I'm counting. Yeah, that's about it. My cat may or may not make an appearance. He's my co-pilot, Cashew, so you might see him around. But last I saw, he was just sleeping in my sister's basement, so not likely. So thanks for having me. I can't wait to tell my story.
Oh, I can't wait to hear it. Maybe next time, Cashew. And if you haven't heard her podcast, go listen to it. It's amazing. Next, we have Tavon from How to Travel TV. Tay's a video creator and pretty much the most epic adventure travel guide you could ask for. I'll let you take it from there, Tay.
Wow. Oh my goodness. Hi, everybody. My name is Tay. Well, I guess I'll start from the top. I run a YouTube channel and Instagram. It's called How to Travel. Both of them are at howtotravel.tv. And kind of the point of doing that was I've been mostly a 9-to-5er, so a lot of the travel that I was doing was like, hey, I really want to go to Iceland, but I only have one weekend. I only have 10 days of PTO for the entire year. Like, how do I go to South Africa? That sort of thing. How do I camp in the Middle East? So we started kind of building this channel about empowering and inspiring people to do trips that they didn't really think they could do. I'm not really a full-time van lifer. I'm kind of a van life light. This last summer, given the world wasn't spinning, we took the opportunity to just get out of town, and we went across the country twice in a Toyota 4Runner with a rooftop tent. I'm coming to you live from a gravel pit in Alamogordo, New Mexico, in the back of my pickup truck. So I'm not a full-blown van lifer like you folks that have, like a full shelter and all that sort of thing. I'm a little bit more boondocky, but I really, really appreciate the community, and I use apps like 24/7, including the Van Life app, to make sure that, I'm not going to get rolled if I'm sleeping in the back of my pickup. So there, excited to meet you all and excited to swap some stories, and interested to keep the convo going.
Oh, we're so excited to hear it. And we, as we start to tease our rebrand a little bit, we are open for everybody. Truck campers, SUV campers, tent campers, weekend warriors, full-time, van, bus, schoolie, everything, trailer. Welcome. This is your community. It's going to be your one-stop travel app. So stay tuned. Lots of fun stuff coming. And then our last introduction of the evening are the amazing Adventuring Griggs. If you haven't caught them on Instagram, you've definitely seen their merch shop, which is pretty badass. I know that Jess and the ladies van have been rocking a lot of your shirts lately.
Right here, brother. Right here.
Yeah, right there. I'm going to let you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves.
I'm Nikki, and this is my husband, Alex.
Hello, hello.
This is our van, Olivia, that you can barely see.
Yeah, this is as much of it as you need to see right now.
It's really messy right
now. We're probably within 2 miles of Jess right now.
Yeah.
So we're all in the same area, it looks like. Yeah, I mean, you already plugged the website, which it has our personal merch on it. So if you like looking at us, you'll love our merch. But also it has like this fun like van life inspired t-shirts and clothes and stuff like that, because everyone always has like their own merch, has their name on it, but like what if I just want a cool van t-shirt? But yeah, we have an Instagram. We're about to launch a YouTube channel. We have our website, theadventuringgriggs.com, and we've been living in Olivia, which is a 2019 Transit high roof extended body 350 for about 10 months. Seen 24 states and 2 countries.
Wow.
Don't move this fast.
Yeah.
I don't know. It looks pretty fun.
advice. Go slower.
Oh, we're so
Well-
excited to have all of you. Go ahead, Campbell.
Yeah, thanks everyone for joining. We're so excited to have you here. And in case you haven't been to one of our meetups before, we like to do a mental health check-in, kind of check in to see how you're feeling. So we'll be pulling this poll up quickly. Green, you're doing great, couldn't be better. Yellow, you're okay, not bad, not great. Orange, maybe you're having a rough day. And then the last one is red. You need help. Listen, our team is here for you. We are not mental health professionals, but if you need somebody to say hey to, we've got you. We're here for you. And make sure to reach out if you are feeling red. So I'll give you a second to submit that.
I just launched that. So this should be up for you guys. Everybody sees our poll.
Awesome.
Yep. There.
Awesome.
Y'all, Van Fest is on my birthday. My birthday's this Saturday. So
No way.
yeah, so maybe you guys can have a little toast for me out in the desert.
Happy
Will
almost
do.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
I have
Happy
no
birthday.
plans. Thanks. It's kind of weird to have like no plans.
love it.
But yes, I will be there in spirit.
Perfect. Did everybody get the
Definitely.
poll answers in? Do you think we're good to go?
Alrighty.
How is it? How do you responding? Oh, I just click on whichever one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. You got
Okay,
it.
okay. Sorry. Okay.
No, you're good.
Yeah, take your time.
All right. So
Okay.
our first story is going to be from Sam. So take it away, Sam.
Well, hello. Okay, so we all love an exciting on the road story. And I feel like honestly, now having been out here for a few years, that probably the most exciting ones all happened in the first year. But probably also because I was just so fresh and new to like what was out on the road and what was gonna be around any corner. So this was the story goes back to Memorial Day weekend of 2018. So I've been on the road for about 5.5 months at this point, and just by accident, I found myself at the Grand Canyon on this holiday weekend. I'm like, oh no way. So, go to some BLM land, and while I'm out there, I have just a small incident where I get like a burn on myself and on my chest. I had some water explode out of a kettle. That's only important because for the next several days, I had to remain essentially naked. And all of my plans for the Grand Canyon were foiled because I couldn't wear a backpack or a sports bra, or really do anything upright because my boobs just were burned. It was bad news, you guys. So I'm by myself. I'm very much wishing I had somebody there to like even just get the burn cream out of the back of the van for me occasionally. But alas, I'm like toughing it out, solo van life. I got this. So I spend the next several days waiting out the traffic in the park, and 'cause I'm like maybe a mile outside the park, and I decided on I think what is probably Tuesday or Wednesday after the holiday that I'm gonna go in and get a really great sunset shot. Right. If I can't like get out and get any hiking and go like have my experience, I'm at least gonna get the Instagram shot, y'all. Like I'm getting it with the headboard and the back doors open. So it's gonna be like cat on a bed, pillows, and live edge wood, and then the canyon, and then the sunset. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna make up for all of this, right? Because I'm gonna get all the likes on this post. So I start staking out the spot in the afternoon. What's the best angle? Where should I be? I'm driving this van around for a while. Finally, I find the perfect spot. I'm in the perfect spot. I'm a few hours early. So I get naked again because this is routine at this point. All clothes are misery. Close up the windows, get naked, put burn cream back on. I am laying in my bed for a few hours, read my book, take a nap, and I'm just waiting for the perfect time. So I get up maybe 30 minutes before this perfect moment is about to happen. And I get dressed. I peek outside of my window, and now there's like a few other spectators. Right next to me is this little SUV, a cute elderly couple. They're in the front seat. They're both facing the canyon, reading their books, waiting for the sunset. It's like so cute. And next to them, on the other side of them, is a guy about my age, probably about 30 years old, and he's a photographer. And he's got the bed of his truck open, and he's loading up his gear, and he's like cooking some ramen on his little jet boil. So I'm like, all right, cool. So I get to setting this spot up because the bed does not always look Instagram worthy. So I start collecting the things at the bottom of the bed. And I don't know, everybody's got a spot. I mean, in homes, they have the chair, in vans, some kind of nook where your dirty clothes end up until you take them out. My nook is at the bottom of my bed, underneath my hanging jackets. So I go to collect this pile. And as I'm gathering, I get pricked with something in my finger. Surely it's a safety pin. I had a safety pin in my bathing suit that I attempted to wear in lieu of a shirt earlier in the week. That didn't work out. So I knew that safety pin was in there. So I took my hand out and I shook it because that's what we do when it hurts, right? Even though it does nothing. So I shake it and I look at it and it doesn't stop hurting, which is weird. So I grabbed some tongs, huge tongs, 5.5 months. I've yet to use these tongs. Why did I bring my barbecue tongs? I don't know. Now I know why. So I get the tongs and I start grabbing the clothes. And I grab at the clothes. And as I'm grabbing at the clothes, I see it and I drop it. And there on the bench, open so perfectly, inside a pair of shorts, is a scorpion. So I don't know what to do at this point. I'm sorry. I did skip a little head. I had not grabbed the tongs yet. I got him. He got me twice. He pricked me. That's when I dropped the shorts. That's when I saw it. Then I grabbed the tongs because now I knew what I was dealing with. And again, for the second time in 1 week, another thing, bullshit, if I will, that I just did not want to deal with on my own. I just wish somebody else had been there. So I try and muster up the energy to just get this scorpion out. He's just chilling. He's in these shorts and he seems to like them. So I stare at him for a little while and then I want some help. I just have got to ask for help. So I open the door back up and I can't ask the couple. That's just not right. So I go over to the photographer and I walk over there real calm. Got in one arm my cat, who's like a 20-pound long-haired white cat, and in my other hand, the largest barbecue tongs you've ever seen. So I walk over to him in this parking lot with a big stupid smile on my face, and I'm like, "Hi, what's going on, man?" He's like, nothing." I said, "Cool, cool, cool. I'm Sam. This is Zamboni. This is our house. We live here." And he's like, "All right, cool. I'm Jeremy. This is my truck." So I'm like, "Okay, cool, Jeremy. So I got something I could really use some help with." And at this point, he seems like chivalrous, right? I said, "I got something in my van and I'm trying to move it. And like, I just can't figure out how to move it myself. So I was really hoping maybe you could help me move it out of the van. It just needs to be moved out of the van. That's it." He's like, "Yeah, totally." So we start walking over the van. At this point, he's like, "What are we moving?" And I said, to the best of my understanding, I think it's a scorpion." And he stops in his tracks, and you can see on his face that he is suddenly regretting agreeing to help me. It's like so clear that he now wants absolutely nothing to do with this stupid girl holding her cat in the parking lot. But Jeremy, such a fine young man, he takes the tongs out of my hand. He reluctantly reaches out and takes the tongs and gets up into my van. And I'm standing outside of it. I'm now between the SUV with the cat. He's standing observing. And again, the scorpion hasn't moved. He hasn't gone anywhere. And so Jeremy evaluates the situation for a little while, eventually pops out. It seems like a long time. It's probably been a minute. Pops his head out and he says, "Okay, all right, I need your opinion here. So do you think that I should like go at it real slow, like pick him up gentle and move him out of the van? Or do you think I should go like really fast and grab him and run?" And I was like, "Jeremy, I think that you should do what makes you the most comfortable because you're the one doing it, man." So all I can say is that he doesn't seem like a feisty fellow, with the exception of if you snatch at him in the basket. Like, he does not lunge at me until I was squeezing at him in the pile of clothes. So I think that he's cool. So Jeremy says, "All right, stand back." And I take 2 steps back, and he comes out with the tongs. And underneath the tongs, he's holding the shorts, sort of balled up. And he's moving so slow and not moving his eyes off of it, like he's carrying a bomb. John McClane in the house. He's like, thinks he's gonna save everybody in the area. He walks to the edge of the rim, and we go to let him free. Now, as we're trying to separate the fella from my shorts, because at this point he's very happy in my shorts, and if this was like, I mean, not a leave no trace situation, I would have just donated the shorts to the scorpion. He can have them. It's fine. They bring back terrible memories now, so they're all his. But I got to get him off of the shorts, and he doesn't want that. So as we're trying to separate them, a crowd starts to form around us. This is quite interesting, right at the rim. And it's a pretty popular time. We're now like maybe 15 minutes out from the sunset. So now we've got a lot of people and they're really invested. And eventually we get him separated. And as we get him separated, literal applause, you guys, actual applause. Jeremy's like, "I got him." People are like, "Yeah." And somebody in the back yells, "Kill it." I was like, "I'm not gonna kill it after all this. After all that, if I was going to go through all that to like smash him in the wild." No, he can go. I'm the villain in this story because I took him from whatever home he had a mile outside of the park. In any case, I bid Jeremy adieu. Thanked him very, very much for being my knight in shining armor that evening. I wanted to wish him well so he could get to the sunset, on time. A really nice lady stuck around. I didn't have cell service, so a nice lady stuck around. She looked up how to get to the nearest hospitals because of my 2 punctures from earlier in the day. But they were fine. I assure you, it was just a graze of my skin. I was in no danger, and I was mostly just really scared because in that time I had no idea how he had gotten in. And realistically, I told you all that stuff at the beginning because let's go back and remember how much I was laying in that bed naked with him before I found him. He was in that bed for like at least a half a day with me. And I'm standing there holding my cat at the rim, watching the sunset that now I am not going to be able to photograph. There is no way. The pile of laundry is still in the van, and there is so much like to do now. So I'm holding the cat, and for the first time on the road, I'm like severely contemplating why I'm out there. What am I doing? I'm feeling very lonely and very far away from really anybody. And I get this little tap on my shoulder, and it is the little old lady that had been sitting in the SUV next to me. And she's standing there holding her iPhone, and she says, "Excuse me, can I take a picture of you and your cat? We just can't wait to tell our grandkids all about your brave adventures." And I couldn't believe it. Ah, I could not believe it. I, of course, started crying. I hugged her like she was my grandma and cried on her shoulder. And she took one of the most phenomenal photos ever. I taught her how to airdrop it, and she sent it to me right then. But it was really like the universe giving me like a pat on the back for getting through that shit. And that is the night that I met a scorpion in my van. For a quick follow-up at the end, in case you're curious, there were no more in the van. I spent the night, I did sleep that night, barely. I did lots of research. I learned a lot about scorpions. I'm from the Pacific Northwest, so there was a lot to learn. I have a black light. I check my shoes, and I haven't had any issues with them since.
Oh my God, that is incredible. I want to know what the adventuring Griggs just said. Do you have that picture still?
Yes, it wound up actually on my Christmas card that year, which is great because Zamboni actually passed away just a few months after that, and so it was such an amazing gift. It was just what I needed, both the picture and the moment, the hug, the encouragement. It was exactly what I needed. And apparently the whole time that Jeremy and I were going through all this, the two of them were just sitting in the car watching and listening to the whole thing. They were just like, could not believe it. So they had the time of their lives. They put their books down and really enjoyed that night. So I love to think that this story is floating around somewhere in their family as well.
Oh, it's getting passed down the generations.
Yeah.
What's the recovery from a scorpion bite? I think we need to know.
That really depends. Honestly, I did learn that the bigger the better when it comes to scorpions. So my scorpion was fairly large on the scale. If he was laid out, he was 3 or 4 inches. He was incredibly beautiful. It was almost like the color of like that glow in the dark green, but then his like back scales were all ombre, so it went from like dark to light. Jeremy had the wherewithal to, after we had placed it right on the other side of the retaining wall, he asked for my phone and reached down and took a photograph of it in case I had more reaction to it. Then I would have that to offer. But honestly, I never had any more reaction. It stung in the moment and like not again. Nothing like that burn. So I was fully distracted with something else.
Well, thank you so much for that story. Everybody, just a round of applause for same story.
Oh, thank you.
Amazing. This is why you have a podcast. You're born to talk.
Yes, I do tell stories on my podcast, so chime in because my life is a series of these kinds of events. You guys, the world has been trying to kill me my whole life, and I just keep surviving. So y'all stick around because I got stories after stories.
Oh my God, I love it. Definitely go follow her at Sam Van Sam. We'll share everyone's links at the end too. Okay, Tay, let's take it away.
All right, everybody. Oh, first of all, I've never been stung by a scorpion. So Sam, you take that one for sure. And sleeping in my truck, I haven't really been visited that much, which is fortunate. Like, God forbid, big wildlife or something. I did get visited by like a dog today, which was like weirdly spooky, like in the middle of nowhere, like where did you come from kind of thing, but no scorpion. So that's not the story. But anyways, by the way, chime in, if you guys want to chit chat while I'm kind of throwing this down. But so anyways, with how to travel, we started this thing. I'll just give you a little context. We started this thing, a buddy of mine and I, because we were doing kind of like sendy, like back when influencers were cool, like just go do it kind of travel, and we wanted to inspire people to do things like go to Norway for a weekend. It is possible, like $300, you can go to Norway, you can see the Northern Lights, because we were balancing that with like a normal brick and mortar back in the day, 9-to-5 job, right? And so we started like coining this phrase, travel aggressive. We say travel aggressive all the time. And mediating travel aggressive with this idea of like how to travel, was interesting because I also don't want to screw up, because I don't want to tell people, hey, this is how you do something if it can be unsafe or wrong, right? But what I started realizing is that we were kind of proposing trips or sharing our stories on YouTube and some on Instagram about types of travel that might be, inspirational to people, but maybe weren't relatable. Like I heard from some people like, hey, it's cool, but like I personally don't feel comfortable like camping in the Middle East, and so I wanted to, first of all, not try to tell somebody else's perspective about why you should or shouldn't do a type of trip. So what I started doing was taking the opportunity to just make stories about people I was traveling with. So what I want to tell you about is my homegirl Lorena and the trip that she and I did to Portugal in a rented van. By the way, I'm not van life folks like you are in terms of your expertise. But I want to tell you just a little story about, how we kind of figured out what worked and what didn't, and why this was kind of empowering to us in terms of the van working better than anything else. So no scorpions. So anyways, what I want to tell you, Lorena's an old friend of mine. She lives in Brazil. She's never been to Europe, and she hit me up and said, hey, let's do a trip. So I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting. Portuguese speaker from Brazil. Why don't we go to Portugal, right? There's this thing in Portugal. Any of y'all ever been to Portugal? Looking for hands. There, Campbell. All right. If you've been to Portugal, especially along the coast, there's this thing that people call Portugal, the California of Europe, like in quotes. And there's a big like camper van culture, like specifically on the Portuguese coast. It's like very like surfer kind of culture. It's like weirdly carbon copy California, but like in Portuguese language. So I feel like I have this set. I have like the chick that speaks Portuguese. I can, like survive in a vehicle for a few days, and we're just gonna like let her rip. I will plug these guys. We rented a van from a group that's called Wild Spirit Campers, and they're kind of full service. They're actually an Airbnb. They hook us up with a van, and the van is fully loaded with like, like one of these like squirter shower things. It has actually like a porta potty toilet inside the van. Like I'm sure like all these are kind of creature comforts for you folks. Wi-Fi in the thing. So already Lorena's feeling like, okay, like was uncertain about living in a van for about a week, but is like stoked. She's got Wi-Fi, she can hit Instagram, that sort of thing. So anyways, what we did before we really knew, what the van was going to be like, is we actually booked 2 Airbnbs along the way, just to give us kind of a brick and mortar, just in case things go wrong, or in case, I shouldn't say things go wrong, but just in case things were less comfortable than we were expecting for either one of us, especially for like the toilet bathroom situation. So anyways, we start camping in this van. Everything is pretty much set up for us. There is a little bit of anxiety about making sure we find the right spot, which is super relevant to the van life app, of course. And I'm stoked to hear more about throwing pins in places in Europe. I don't know how that fits in your guys' timeline, but regardless, we're feeling pretty good. Lorena and I are camping like literally on the coast, having a good time, using a porta potty. And we're feeling mostly comfortable. The second night we booked an Airbnb, and Lorena was stoked about it just because it's like, okay, warm shower, kind of reset. So the story kind of begins after all that mumbo jumbo that we roll in this van that is starting to feel pretty comfortable to us. And this place is in like a nomadic surf village. It's pretty overgrown. We roll in and there's like, you know, some geese running around. And there's like a small child on a trampoline and like a bunch of old dolls that have just been left out. Like you can tell this is getting weird, right? There's an old lady just in a wheelchair, just by herself. And at this point, we get out of the van and Lorena is like, she wouldn't say it, but I could tell that she was uncomfortable, not with the van, but with like, what the hell is going on with this Airbnb that Tay booked, right? The first point of contact was this guy that only spoke German and was kind of like a woofer kind of guy or something. Lo and behold, we get connected to a gal that speaks Portuguese who takes us back in our van past literally like a group of woofers doing yoga with like small children. Like bizarre scenario if you just roll into this. It was actually in the back. The Airbnb is behind that kind of like whole eco farm woofing thing. And it was like a nice little cottage with like a trailer shoved up inside of it so that you actually sleep in a trailer inside of a house, inside of a farm with your camper van next to it. But the reason that I tell this story and the reason that this is funny to me is that like, and I have my iPhone in Lorena's face the whole time, is that she tells me, she's like, if it was just me and like, you know, like a girlfriend, like I would have bounced, you know. And the reason that that's important to me in terms of kind of van life and, you know, figuring out how to make travel accessible for all of us, especially in a year that like travel is either a no-no or scary or uncertain, or sometimes you don't want to post about it on the internet, is that actually the van became even more comfortable for us than staying anywhere else did, right? So it was kind of a cool story about, first of all, these folks at Wild Spirit Campers totally hooked us up. The whole ethos of the camper van scene in Portugal was like out of control, like what you want to do in California, but you can't. And it was really cool that it was made accessible for both me and my homegirl, Lorena. And, you know, we really kind of made a home of it. So all that being said, you know, once again, it's just important to me because I think right now we're really at the juncture of like, how do all of us get out and travel again? How do all of us kind of get out and explore again? So I really like, you know, telling those kind of stories, and I'm really excited to be a little bit more aggressive about sharing that kind of travel ethos again. So that's what I got, baby.
Thank you, Tay. Oh, can you please just film everything and put it on your YouTube channel and then share it? Because we need it.
Oh, it's there, by the way. It's there.
Oh, perfect.
So I got 3 episodes of Portugal if you want to check them out.
Yeah, please.
Hey, I don't know what was wrong with that Airbnb. It sounds really nice.
You know,
please drop a pin. Mickey and
I
would
was
love to
personally
stay
fine with it.
It's like out of our lives.
Actually, it was an excellent place. It was just like the first layer of the onion. There was nothing wrong with it. It was just different than the photos. You know what I mean? So it was the woman in a wheelchair just minding her own business that yeah. Basically. So anyways, if you guys want to check it out, it is on my YouTube. It's really easy. Just type in your URL, howtotravel.tv. There's no .com, that's it. But once again, I love sharing these stories, and I love when people are able to share them back too. So anxious to once again keep the combo going.
I love it. Well, thank you so much, Tay. Everybody give him a round of applause. Oh, I love it. Okay, we're gonna go to our final story, the adventuring Griggs. I am so curious to hear this one. They gave me a little bit of a warning ahead of time, and I said just go for it. So let's.
Is that the entire intro to the story you're giving us?
Okay,
That's
mom's
where
word.
we just drop us right in.
It's weird enough.
Huh. Okay. Well, it's interesting. I think Sam said that like a lot of the stories come from like your first year of travel. And while we're in our first year of travel, I would believe that most of our stories will come from this first year. We were in Denver in October.
October. It was before Halloween.
Yeah, it's for my birthday. And a bunch of other friends were going to be coming in and meeting us. We're going to have a little birthday party and little small band meetup. But we were alone in Denver for a few days before everyone else got there. So
there was a huge snowstorm.
There was a giant snowstorm, which is exactly what you want. So we burned through like all the propane bottles. But that's actually not what the story is about. We bounced around the city looking for cool spots to stay. We found this park.
Because it was dog friendly, so we had to go there.
Right, we have a dog, actually, if I may.
She's sleeping.
There she is.
She's cuter when she's awake.
Yeah, she is alive. Okay, let's get into the story. So we find this cool park. And when we pulled in, there was another person living in a vehicle. Very clearly, we all know the signs of it. It's like, that's somebody in there.
Yeah, we know you.
And we ended up outside with our dogs at the same time. And Nikki was out walking our dog Lucy, and he was out with his dog, great big pit bull. I'm sure there's some story there, but
Jess said the vent fan is a big tell.
yeah. Seems nice enough. I was kind of busy inside.
You were working.
Yeah.
So I was talking to him because he had a dog. Lucy like loved him. Very like slobbery pit bull. So they were like playing around together, and I was just chatting. And normally I don't chat to people because I'm like so nervous. But today I was like, today's gonna be different for some reason, and I decided to actually be not antisocial and talk to a person.
Yeah, and then I saw the guy, and he was a light-skinned black guy with a beard and glasses, wearing a hat.
Maybe that's why I was
looked kind of
comfortable.
punky. And I said to myself, maybe she just thinks he's cute. I wonder where this is going.
I do have a type.
So it got to like lunchtime.
Yeah.
And we were talking about going to find something to eat. There was a burger spot, I think.
We wanted to go to a restaurant. I know someone said they were in Denver right now. If you are in Denver, whoever said that, go to something called Flower Child. It's so good.
Right.
It's so good. So I think that you said it. Yeah. Go to Flower Child.
Flower Child is a good way to convince yourself you're eating healthy.
No, it is healthy.
Ish. It's okay. Yeah. So right, we wanted to go there.
Yeah, so that's what it's called. Yeah.
And I was like, hey, that guy seemed nice, right? You want me to go like invite him out to lunch?
No, I was talking to him and I came back and told you about him because before I was like, hey, we're meeting people over at Flower Child. I don't know, because like you never know, people living in vehicles might have different dietary restrictions. So I was like, there's gluten-free options, there's vegan options, there's a bunch of things. Let me know, like whatever.
It's like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, went back, told you went out.
So I went to go find out.
We flip-flop our work schedule.
Yeah. Also, it does take the both of us to get through a story.
Yeah.
Jess is laughing. She knows. So I go over to his van and I'm like, hey man, how you doing? He's like, hey, what's up? It's like, hey, just, I know you were talking to my wife. You seem nice. I want to come meet you. And he's like, yeah. And he's like got a pan on. And I was like, hey,
he's like cooking.
Yeah, he's got like a pan on the stove, heating up. And it's like, what are you up to, man? Like, how you doing? He's making small. He's a drone pilot and all this stuff. Okay, cool. Now we know each other. We both live in vehicles. And I was like, well, I see you're cooking, but Nikki and I were gonna go grab lunch. Didn't know if you wanted to come with us if you're not too far into it. And he's like, no, I'm all set. I was like, are you sure? It's like, it's no big deal. Like, you just hop in with us. We're driving. We're gonna go
We're
now.
gonna meet other people too.
Yeah, we're meeting other people. It'll be totally fine. We'll introduce you. He goes like, nah, no. It's all cool. I only eat meat. And I was like, I'm sorry. And he's like, no, I only eat meat. So I was like, oh no, Flower Child has everything. It's not just like vegetables and things like that. They have meat there. He's like, no, I only eat meat. And I was like, okay. And I looked in the pan, and it's these cut up pieces of just organ meat. And I couldn't identify it as, yeah, absolutely. I couldn't identify it as organ meat, but I knew it was red and sizzling and it smelled like ass. So he like busts out a whole pound of ground beef, just chucks the whole thing in there with it.
Like
and
from,
it's just
from like above. It was like,
yeah. Yeah, full on, like announces, like looks me dead in the eyes, like, I only eat meat. I'm like, okay, man, like cool. Drops this pound of yeah, drops this pound of beef, starts cooking. I was like, so when you say you only eat meat, do you like, how do you eat vegetables? He's like, no. He goes like real wide-eyed. I was like, no, I don't. It's like, okay, how do you, what else do you eat? Like what? He's like, only meat. I get all of my vitamins and supplements I need from
organ.
meat.
He's like, I get the vitamins from organ meat. And Alex was like, okay, but what kind of flavor profile you're working with? And he goes, only meat.
Only meat, no seasoning.
No seasoning, no spices, no nothing.
So
yes,
let us go back to the beginning here. When Nikki met him the first time, he was like, yeah, I'm solo now. My girlfriend used to travel with me, but she's not here anymore. And
exactly like that. She's no longer with me.
Yeah, she's no longer with me. And then like when I was talking to him, like we're talking about drone footage and stuff, he was like, yeah, my girl, we're not together anymore. Yeah, we put in this bathroom, but she liked it. I don't really want to use it. I'm using it in the closet. Like, I don't know. Like, okay.
Like really.
And then kept bringing her up. It's like, yeah, I used to fly drones, and like I'm trying to run a business on my own. She was helping me with it, but she's not here anymore.
Well,
so
I was talking to him about the dogs. I'm like, your dog's so cute, and he was like, yeah, my girlfriend thought so too. I was like, questions I didn't ask, but thanks for that answer.
Right? Yeah.
Seriously, the crazy eyes.
I have to commit to it because it absolutely was like
the moment definitely soured as soon as he started making facial expressions around food.
Yeah. So and then I see him cooking organ meat, and it all starts adding up. And I was like, okay, man, well, enjoy your meal. Oh, excuse me, I missed a part.
Yes.
Oh, after he tells me he gets everything he needs from the organs and
which he doesn't.
No.
You need to eat spinach for some vitamin K. Write that down.
So if you're gonna only eat meat, don't. I was like, what organs? He's like, heart and liver. I was like, any heart? He's like, no, usually like a pig or bovine. I was like, great, I'm glad you know that, right? So this dude is straight up cooking organ meat
and for his dog.
And and a pound
he and his dog share food.
Yes, the point I'm getting to. This giant mass of parts. And he's like, yeah, the dog, he's like scooping. He's like, the dog eats all the meat too. It was just like,
ow, you hit my knee.
He's like, yeah, no, we eat the same diet. I was like, is that healthy for the dog? He's like, oh, no, it's super healthy. It's really good for them. They get like really like natural proteins.
And the dog had bigger triceps than like the strongest man competition.
Yeah, the dog looked like The Rock.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
Yeah. The dog had a tribal tattoo from the 90s.
So I'm backing out of this conversation. I'm like, okay, do you with the meat?
Yeah.
So I get back over to the van and I'm like, hey, honey, he's not going to come. She was like, oh, why? And I go, he only eats meat.
And I was like, oh, there's meat. Like,
said the same thing. She's like, they have stuff there.
Steak and even salmon or something. And
I go, no, he only eats meat. And Nikki's like, well, immediately all the same questions I had.
I was like, no.
With what? What else does he eat? No. no seasoning, no salt, no pepper, chopped up.
Oh, and he claimed he was on this diet, immediately quit drinking, and
smoking.
Went cold turkey on cigarettes.
Yeah, it was like the cure-all. If you only
But
eat,
he started this diet when he broke up with his girlfriend.
So what we're saying and not saying is,
I don't know.
I wonder how his girlfriend is doing.
Yeah.
We left that parking lot and did not stay there. Yeah, and we went back to check like the next day. It was cool to park there, and he was still there. We're like, nope, we're going somewhere else. Out of here.
But then, because like I had already innocently invited him to follow us on Instagram.
Because like as you do when you meet a van lifer, generally you're like, hey, yeah, let's exchange Instagrams and stuff. I was like, now he knows where we are. He knows we can't say anything about this now because he's gonna see that we're talking about him being a cannibal. Like allegedly.
It was just one of those wild things that like when you meet someone so different from you, it's like already shocking. But when it's like really dramatic, it's just like, I don't know what to do with my hands.
Yeah,
like I don't get it.
Yeah.
So I guess it takes all kinds of people.
Yeah. So
I
mean, that's pretty much the end of that story. We never saw that guy again, and I think we actually blocked him on Instagram.
I don't remember, but I really hope he actually is doing okay because you cannot survive on only meat. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. Especially not human meat.
Have a piece of broccoli.
Especially we only have one girlfriend.
Yeah, right.
Short supply.
He's like, you guys, I have a bunch of room in my freezer.
No, he didn't say that.
I hope you added that to the review on the Van Life app. Overnight parking comes with cannibals.
Out for cannibal.
Yeah, we like to keep y'all informed. That is insane. I think my stomach's in my throat still. Insane.
Dude,
Everybody
it could not have been weirder.
What is everyone having for dinner tonight?
Me.
Sam.
Poor girlfriend.
Oh my.
No, y'all really got me. That like really, I was like shivering at one point with disgust. Like, I don't know, but like even just all that meat, and I just am picturing like a liver and
yes, he had chopped up pieces of liver and heart, dude. And it was like not weird until, and it might not have even been as weird if he hadn't gone from like, yeah, no, I only eat meat. And I was like, okay, cool. And then he was like, I only eat meat. Like really emphatically.
Never eating meat again.
Yeah.
Oh man.
So that's our story. I hope it was worth the babbling of the two of us trying to get through it.
Oh my god, amazing.
It was worth everything. Sam, I saw you hiding for a second. I was doing the same exact thing. Oh man.
You can't hide from that story. You can't hide from that story.
So we're gonna and now for everyone in this conversation, we're gonna give you a code to download to buy a shirt that says I only eat meat.
No.
Oh.
Yeah, absolutely.
I would buy that.
Yeah, he was drinking a fine Chianti too.
No.
Oh man, was it a Chianti or is it just red?
Oh no!
Blood,
no.
I'm sorry.
He had really sharp canine teeth too.
Oh no.
He's just eating people.
Oh, I'm so sorry. Well, the stories they were amazing. Everybody just hand a round of applause for every presenter that came in today. Incredible. I want to get through, normally we were going to go into a couple of breakaway rooms for everybody to tell their story. Since we went a little bit over, I kind of want to go through some closing items first. And then I'd say if you have a story, just stick around and let's tell them in a big group. So Campbell, if we want to go through the last
Let's
minute.
do it.
Perfect.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So thank you truly everyone for joining. It was so fun listening to these stories. I love to hear other people's mysteries because I've been there. No cannibals though. And for that, I'm deeply grateful. So a couple big things coming. FanFest this weekend. Hit us up on the app if you're going to be there as well. You can check us out. We will have a big booth there, not under the name of the Van Life app though. So big news, we are rebranding. We've been sprinkling it kind of around, but you guys get to hear it before most people. So congratulations. So we will actually be fully under the name Seeker at FanFest, and things are going to be shifting over soon. Basically, we want to bring the van life values to a larger community because there's something absolutely special with van lifers, and we think the world deserves to see it. All right, so make sure to sign up for our newsletter. Make sure to connect with your fellow van lifers and community members on the app. If you have your handle name, so like mine is at Campbell Hawk, put it into the chat and you can hit each other up, connect with people, caravan, have meetups. What else? Download the app if you haven't, which I would hope that you have if you are here, but we'll make sure to put that link in the chat as well. All right, friendly reminder, you can create group chats. So if you like these people, you can put them all in one chat together on our app and hit them up, exchange more stories. And one more time, we are going to continue doing breakout rooms for a little bit after this call. So if you want to stick around, tell your stories, get to know more people, we will be here for probably maybe 15. I'm shooting from the hip here. I'm going to say 15 minutes.
That's safe. That's a safe
Yeah,
bet.
I don't know. I'm going for it. 15 sounds right. We'll be here for 15 minutes after this call. So you're welcome to stick around, tell your stories, and we will be here.